Hello, it is Monday, March 25th, which is a little hard to believe. I blinked and March is over and the first quarter of the year is coming to an end. Spring has kicked off, so we'll see a lot of spring content this time of year, lots of florals, lots of spring is in the air and this and that is in bloom. I've definitely used a few of those myself. There's a couple of topics. I had to write down a list today because there's a bunch of updates and things I wanted to tell you today. So the first one we can jump in with is the Meta API, which is the Application Programs Interface. Basically, it's how one software communicates with another. So if you use third-party scheduling apps like Later or CoSchedule, Hootsuite, Buffer, they have APIs that help them communicate with these platforms. So Meta is making changes specifically for Facebook groups. So I don't believe it's effective yet, but it was coming soon. You will not be able to schedule in a third-party app to a Facebook group. It's okay. Don't panic unless you run a software company that's based on this, which is a bummer. If you run a Facebook group, you can still schedule within the groups themselves. So if you go into the admin settings, there's a way to schedule natively through the platform, which apparently is what Facebook would prefer that we do. So that's the first one. If you have questions about that, let me know. If you run into any issues with software, happy to kind of walk you through some of that, but it shouldn't affect most people. It's unfortunate for the companies that build up software specifically for offering that service. So you will see some talk about that and how Meta can be a little fickle and switches things on people and does impact the income of people kind of seemingly without thinking, which leads me into the next few topics. Hashtags. You may see some chatter online about changes to how hashtags work. As of now, the limit is still the same. So you can still post up to 30 hashtags on a post. For now, that may change. There is talk of that being updated. But for now, you can still post up to 30 hashtags on your posts. What it changed is how you search or what the search results look like. So over the next few days, if you're curious, just go in and click on a hashtag and see the way that it shows you is different. It used to be top posts, but it's going to collect additional content underneath those hashtags. So it just changes how it shows up in search results. Nothing major there yet. It's just supposed to help encourage people to see new types of content, engage with other things besides just posts, but reels, audio, etc., etc. Speaking of reels, they're in the process right now of updating it to be to allow reels for up to 3 minutes. So it used to be 30 seconds and then it got extended to 90 seconds, so a minute and a half. You can still post videos longer than that under certain circumstances, but different features are not available or it cuts things off. Obviously my live videos have been about 7 or 8 minutes long and those still get posted. So if you go live, you can share it as a reel later. But traditional reels with all the editing features, the transitions, the trending audio, etc., that is potentially being shifted to be 3 minutes long so you can do longer form content. The most popular reels still continue to be 10 to 15 seconds at most, with the quick transitions, the short, fun, original audio or clips of songs that you've seen. So that's there. And then I do want to talk about one of my favorite things to talk about that I don't get asked about often enough, Google business listings. So these are really valuable. When you do a Google search and you see something on the sidebar and it has a business listing, it's really valuable for businesses to get those verified and then update them regularly. People use those to find hours, menu, website links, shopping, and then also reviews from existing or past customers, which are really valuable. I do offer management of these profiles, and we have a couple of secret tricks and hacks that we use on my team to help optimize those and keep them really active to help you get matched with people's searches. So if someone does a Google search for restaurants near me, downtown Hudson, you want your business to come up and get matched with those searches. So using your Google business listing in that way is really helpful to get paired with people that are looking for what you do. So one thing that they did add now is the ability to include multiple social media links on your business listing. So when you go in, it's under contact. And I'll do this for all my clients. So if you're an existing client and I manage your Google already, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it this week. But if you manage your own Google listing, or if you haven't done it yet, but you want to set yours up after hearing me talk about it, you can go in and then under contact, just update with all of your social links. I went in this morning and made sure that I had proper links for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, Pinterest, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So they're all and TikTok, sorry. So they're all there. That leads me into the TikTok update. I don't really have an update for you this week, actually. We've been talking the last few weeks about the ban. As it stands now, it was passed in the US House of Representatives. They're still talking about the requirements for divestiture and all sorts of other things that we can geek out about if you want, but don't worry about it. If not, again, keep doing what you're doing if you already have a TikTok presence until you hear otherwise. And if you don't already have a TikTok presence and you haven't gotten into it yet, now may not be the best time to invest a lot of time or resources into creating one. So whatever your TikTok plan has been up to today, keep doing it until you hear otherwise from me or the government or whoever else is talking about it. Yes, so it's passed through the U.S. House of Representatives. It's pending the Senate. You'll see a lot of news articles. People are speculating, so-and-so says this, so-and-so says that. All of those things. Again, until you hear otherwise, just ride the wave. It's also possible that there may be a Photos feature or an entirely new Photos app added. There's some chatter on the internet right now about particular codes that have been found that you can really geek out about all the internet stuff, but basically there are talks of potentially a TikTok for photos or something from ByteDance or the TikTok people for sharing photos, just like Instagram used to be a photo sharing app. Now it's a bit of everything: photos, videos, live videos like this one, and those sorts of things. I think that concludes my list for today, and I don't see any questions here yet, but I will post this after the fact and I'll share it on other platforms too in case anyone is curious or wants to check in throughout the week. But just to recap, we talked about Meta no longer allowing third-party schedule apps to Facebook groups specifically. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, all those things. If that doesn't change anything about other scheduling apps, as we do schedule a lot of content there. We talked about the change to hashtags on Instagram. So it's just changing how hashtags show up in search results. You can go click on some right now. They do slow rollouts, so you can be logged into multiple accounts and you'll see they don't all have the same features or updates at the same time. They beta test and then they slowly roll them out. So over the next few days or weeks, if you want to check out what those hashtags look like, you can. But the limit as of today, Monday, March 25th, remains 30. And you can keep doing up to 30 with all those special keywords, branded hashtags, and those things that I recommend. Potentially Reels will be extended to be 3 minutes long. So for longer form content, that's just an interesting update. Google business listings, super valuable. Always happy to talk about these. I love when people ask about this stuff. So you can add your social media links now directly into your Google business listing, and then people can go right from the sidebar listing that you have into your social media. And then TikTok, no real updates there. And that's it for this week. As always, if you have questions or requests for something that we talked about in any of these videos, please reach out. You can comment on the video below. You can send me a message. You can send me an email if that's your preferred method. That's my favorite way to connect with people, is through email. And other than that, we'll connect soon. Thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you later.